Hello, my name is Paul Spurlin. Welcome to the Paul Spurlin Show, Beyond the Mic. This is a podcast all about, just about anything and everything in ministry. All kinds of ministry, from church to family, marriage, raising kids, walking the walk, and much, much more. We will share the latest news, sports, current events, and what's trending and what's not. This is a show to share what all's going on in the Brotherhood, from lectureships, camps, conferences, and all other events. We're all about the search for life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. We seek to find truth, justice, and the way to Him. To keep up with what's going on with the Paul Spurlin Show, please follow us on social media, all platforms, at The Paul Spurlin, and on the website, thepaulspurlin.com. Send us an email at thepaulspurlin@gmail.com. We hope you enjoy this episode, and now, let's start the show. Good morning and welcome to the Paul Spurlin Show. Thank you for being with me. Today, we are excited about yet another Monday. Start the week off great yesterday as we worship the Lord. Hopefully you did where you live in your area, and or if you weren't in your area, you were somewhere where you were. And so I hope that was the case. We had a lot of visitors actually here at Piedmont Road yesterday. So and we're blessed. We get visitors every Sunday. I mean, it's really a blessing, and it's really good to be with some good folks as they pass through or as they move in. And so be that person. Be the person that welcomes the visitors and make sure they know, or with God's people is where we always need to be. So hopefully you had a great day. We had an incredible Sunday yesterday. We had we had a bilingual service. We had Brother Leon Garaccio, who is the minister of our Hispanic ministry here at Piedmont Road, and he preached, and his son Asalo translated the service yesterday morning, and it was really good. Last night, Jake gave us a lesson on Issachar and Judah, and the ladies of the tribes, and so many things. So a lot of things we did yesterday, a lot of cool stuff going on a Sunday, and so hopefully you had a great Sunday where you were. If you ever come to the Marietta area on the weekend, come see us, come worship with us. Sundays and Wednesdays right here at 1630 Piedmont Road. Love to have you. This is a place full of people that love Jesus and love you, and would love for you to be here, be a part of what we try to do here at Piedmont Road. Now, to find us online is lifeinchrist.com. Do that. The material we're sharing on this show this season is actually in a Bible class on Wednesday night called the Jesus Code. Prophetic scriptures, the promises of God, and connecting Old Testament to Jesus, Old Testament to New Testament. Old Testament concealed is the New Testament revealed. And that's what we study on Wednesday night, and that is what you'll find on our YouTube channel. Wednesdays at 7:15 is when we start. And so hopefully you will be able to tune in to the full session of what we talk about on this show. This show, we really only get about 5-10 minutes to be able to share with you sort of a summary, an overview of what we're going to be discussing this week. So that's what we're talking about this week. We'll get into that in just a few minutes, but we have a few things to share with you. Today is the 6th of October. So Exposure Youth Camp registration has been open. This is day 6, and we are well over about 1,600, looking closer to 2,000 people registered for Exposure Youth Camp. And so we're over halfway there, and that happened very early. So if you're wondering, yes, the Embassy Suites is full. The draft won't happen until the 15th, but we have enough to make that happen, obviously. And so that's always the case, and we're just blessed because of that. If you have questions about that, anything about Exposure Youth Camp, let me go ahead and do this and tell you about this. Send the email to hello at EYC.camp. Hello at EYC.camp. And we'll receive your email and any questions you have, and we will help you with anything that you need for that. Present prices remain through the 15th of October, and then they go up. I think it's $25 per ticket on everything, starting on the 16th of October. And of course, the end of the month, registration closes. So get your stuff in. Let's get ready for another great Exposure Youth Camp. Remember, it's not a conference. It's not a seminar. It's not a gathering. it's a camp, and the camp is for grade 6 through adults, and hopefully you will be there, be a part of it, and excited about all of that. I will interact with you during the show, even if you have questions about that. We will love to do that and to share some things with you. And if you have questions or anything, I'll stay online. I'll stay here and answer any questions you have about exposure or anything else that you have questions about as far as that goes. So that's exciting. We're in the fall. Fall is here. It is cooler. I did something last night I haven't done in an awfully long time. I put a quarter zip on during church last night. I usually wear my button-up collar shirt, but it was, for me, it was a little cool. I don't know what's going on. I am not sick. I don't have the sniffles. I do not have a fever. I am okay. But I had to put on that quarter zip. I needed a little something extra, and so it is cooler on outside, and I'm so in for it. I love it. I love fall. I love cool weather. I love summertime too. So I don't think one is, well, yeah, I do. The fall's awesome. Summer's good too, but boy, I just love it being a little cooler. So I'm good with that. So I hope that you have your coffee with you, or your drink of choice. Coffee, taking care of business in a flash. That's where we are. And so we are excited about that. Getting the work done and getting it in a flash. So that was one of the things we talked about that last week. I was a procrastinator as a kid, and even my first year in college, a procrastinator, obviously. Went in the military for 3 years, came out, I no longer procrastinated. It's like, get the job done and get it done in a flash. And so that's what we do. That's sort of a mantra I try to keep to. And so if you ask me to do something and it doesn't get done quickly, you need to shoot me an email or shoot me a text, because it means something fell through the cracks. So I want to help you out if I can. There is that. Let me tell you what happened last night. Okay, I just got to share this. Last week, I shared with you a pet peeve of Paul. That's not like a segment of the show. Okay, I don't complain a lot. I think last week it was about people just pulling out in traffic at wee times of the morning when it's dark. It's like, dude, don't do that. That's not cool. But anyway, it's another pet peeve. I don't mean for it to be. It just happened. Okay, it's not complaining Paul time. But I gotta say, I get to the church building on Sunday mornings around 8 in the morning. I make sure the monitors are on, make sure all the classrooms are open. Our elders are already here. They're already working for our good congregation. So I appreciate that. I get to poke my head in, speak with them for a little bit, catch up, talk about some things, and then go about my morning. Sometimes I'm preparing for class. Sometimes I'm preparing other people's classrooms. In the work that I do for education here at Piedmont Road, love it. And so that's what gets me going in the mornings, is being able to see them and preparing for all the folks coming in. So I'm here at 8. Of course, we go through worship. I'm here all afternoon. I don't go home because I do live about 40 minutes away, and there's plenty to do here. Folks stay here, so I want to hang out and be with the people. And then, of course, we have evening worship Bible study at 5 o'clock. We're through at 6:30. Maybe I get out of here 6, 7. Maybe I get out of here. So last night I got home. It was about 7:30, 8. I stopped by to get dinner to take home to Steph and the kids. And so I get home. Everything, I change out from Sunday clothes to shorts t-shirt. You may not know this about me, but I like to be kind of casual. So shorts t-shirt. I get my dinner, go in the den, have a sit down. Everybody's in the den. We're sitting there talking to each other. About 2 minutes later, boom, power goes out. The only time I really get with the family, especially with Stephanie, really is on that couch at night when everything else is over, or the kids are in bed or gone to bed or whatever. Then we get to talk, spend time. I'm really sharing with you my life and my Sunday events, and power goes out. Power stays off. Okay. It's about 9:30 at this point. We're just sitting in the dark, eating our dinner in the dark. And, and then it's time to go. It's time, obviously, Laney, Tyler, here we are. We get Tyler. Stephanie gets Tyler. He gets his shower. He goes to bed. Blaine is at the house. That is Stephanie's um, daughter's boyfriend. Stephanie and I have a daughter, Lainey. Okay, she is 17. She's phenomenal. She has her own podcast and her own thing going on, which is pretty awesome. Beautiful You is that show. It is on Ministry League, so check that out. And she has a new Instagram account. And there's a lot of other things with her show, my show, and a few other things about to roll out. We're really excited about. So pay close attention to that. But Laney has a boyfriend. His name is Blaine. Good kid, like him. Okay. So he's at the house. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for him to go. He goes. It's still dark. We're still sitting in the dark. And then it is what it is. And I told Steph, I'm like, well, it's dark. Let's just go to bed. I'm tired. So we do it. That's fine. We go to bed. We everybody's asleep. It's quiet. It's very quiet. We usually run fans at night because we like that noise. So now we have to open the app and make that happen. But you get that wind blowing. It's like we don't get that anymore because there's no power. We communicate through our local electric company situation on what they're doing about it. And it looks stagnant. We know they're working on it, but it looks stagnant. And there's a circle only around our neighborhood. It's fun. Wonderful. So we're like, let's go sleep. We go sleep. Fans come on, lights in the hallway, things come on at 2 a.m. Ah, they fixed it. Well, that's nice. So we're all up. It's wonderful. It's like, oh. So I kind of dragged a little bit this morning, but I'm here. I have my coffee. I'm on my podcast, and I'm here with you, and it's awesome. Love you dearly. And so now we're about to really get into it. So that's it. It happens occasionally. You may ask, why did your power go out? Because my power didn't go out. That's a great question because it was barely a mist of rain last night. There was no storms. I do not know, but that's what happened, and here we are. Wonderful. We had a little bit of had some college football we enjoyed this weekend. A couple of big dogs went down and dropped right off of the top 25. Alabama continues their winning ways against Vanderbilt. It's like all is right with the world. Vanderbilt shouldn't be winning, being 5-0. Sorry, they just shouldn't, but they're 5-1 now. So that happened. Georgia beat Kentucky. They did what they're supposed to do, which is interesting because last year Georgia struggled against Kentucky up in Lexington, but they took care of business. I mean, they did really well. And Georgia Tech is still undefeated. Man, everybody's happy. No Braves. Season's over. It is what it is. We move on with life. So that's what's going on there. So just a few things. Just want to share some things, let you know what's going on with us. Going to round this out pretty quickly. I got a couple of visits to make this morning with Jake, so we're going to take care of that. But I do want to say thank you and for following us, for watching. Go to ministryleague.com and check out the website. Download the app. Enjoy all the songs that are available, the teaching curriculum, but also all the podcasts. There's so many podcasts that are available. They're on Ministry League, and also you can find us on Spotify. If you go to lifeinchrist.com, you'll find all the podcasts that we have available here through Piedmont Road. And, of course, the stuff that goes on our YouTube channel. Appreciate that. You can follow me on Instagram, The Paul Spurlin on Instagram. And also the website is thepaulspurlin.com. All the things. If you get bored one day, want to see what's Paul up to, go look. That's kind of cool. So that's that. If you'd like to send me an email, send it to thepaulspurlin@gmail.com, and I will respond to whatever your questions are. There's one thing I do want to share with you that I end my show, each show, with this kind of sign out line, and I love it because it's got 1,000 meanings. Okay, here we seek to find truth, justice, and the way to Him. I should put 3 exclamation points at the end of that. If you ever see anything coming out of Piedmont Road that has 3 exclamation points, it means I probably did it because I'm excited 3 times. I mean, I'm just excited about what I'm saying here, and I'm excited about this. So this is not just the Paul Spurlin Show sign out. This is something that represents really something to think about. We all should be a part of. And of course, originally it came from the movie back in the 70s and 80s with Christopher Reeve, Superman, Truth, Justice, and the American Way. Okay, he wants to provide justice and peace and bring truth to the world. Okay, that's the I'm a big Superman fan, so there's that. But there's another meaning to it. As I leave on a show, and I leave you with this, I do want to say we do seek to find truth, and the only way to find truth is through the Bible. It really is the only way. The only way to find truth is through the Bible. The Bible is complete and absolute truth. So when I say we seek to find truth, it means stay in the Word, read the Bible, make it part of who you are, because that is why we're here. We were created to follow, to study, and to share God's Word. We just were. We are. The other piece of that is seek to find truth, justice. Yes, I want justice. Okay, I want justice. I want every person, regardless of where you're from, regardless of what you look like, regardless of your culture, regardless of your origin, regardless of how much you make or don't make, or regardless of what you drive or what your house looks like, I want people to treat everyone right. I want everyone to be treated fairly. And this isn't my thing. This is Jesus' thing. Jesus wants everyone to be treated fairly. And I think that's true. Here's the unfortunate thing. And we've been told this. We may not find the justice we want here on earth. The justice we want is in heaven. When we get to heaven, everything is going to be right. The books will be balanced, the odds will be evened, and the good people will be rewarded. The faithful people will be rewarded. Evil will not triumph anymore. Evil will not trample on top of the weak. Evil will not trample on top of the good. Evil will not win. Evil will not have success. God will have success. So when I say seek to find truth, I mean the Bible. When I seek justice, I mean let's go home. And we find that only through him, because he is the way. In John chapter 14 and verse 6, on the way, the truth, the life, no one comes to the Father except through me. We got to go through Jesus to find God. And so when I say we seek here to find truth, justice, and the way to him, that's exactly what I mean. So so keep that in mind and understand that, and get that as part of the whole thing of our show here, but also what we do in Ministry League, what we'll do in other things that we're about to launch out, and some other things that we're really, really excited about. It really comes down to one thing, and that is making Jesus your anchor. And so that's the thing that I think is very important to keep in mind and in all this. Now, hopefully the reason why you came here today was because you want to. Let me adjust Facebook here and make sure that we are good to go. We got some views. Caleb Sampson gave me a thumbs up. That's great. Good to see you. Man, that's awesome. Okay. And how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Okay. So this is the 6th episode of the Jesus Code. We have been exploring the Old Testament prophecies throughout for the past 5 weeks and this week, and we will continue on through for 13 weeks. It's a 13-week class. It's a 13-week series and season. When we're through with this, the season's over. We'll go on to season 3. But right now and today, this week 6, and this is what we'll be studying on Wednesday night. If you're here at Piedmont Road, I invite you to come be a part of it. Is that we are going to be talking about the prophecy of the resurrection from the Old Testament. We find this in the book of Psalms, Psalm 16, another Psalm of David. Okay, he contains another promise that God's Holy One will not see decay. Okay. Jesus goes into this tomb. He dies on the cross. They put him in that tomb. He's only there 3 days. He's up. He's gone. He's out. Right. And we find this, yes, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. We also find this in Psalm chapter 16. 1,000 years before Jesus was even born is mentioned that when he dies, he goes into that tomb, no decay. Okay. David, when he dies, decay, because he's David. He's just a regular man, human. Jesus, human in spirit. Very different. So what David, his expression of his confidence here in God, then we kind of unpacks the prophetic significance of this. There's a lot of things we say in our class, things I'll share here on the show that you need to understand kind of how this works. prophetic significance is the thing the prophet said that has a purpose. Okay. We also get into the Christological connection, which is Jesus code, which is how does this apply to Jesus Christ? Okay. So the prophetic significance here is how it points something beyond David, namely the resurrection of the Messiah, Jesus, right? The Christological connection that we share here is made very clear by the apostles in the New Testament, where Jesus rose from the dead before his body decayed. And what this does is it fulfills Scripture. It fulfills the promise of God. So let me make sure and communicate this in a way that everybody understands where it's good. And the reason why I say that, where everybody understands, it helps me. I say this because I want to make sure I'm saying things that are clear and understandable. Sometimes when I get excited, I talk fast. The Southern boy does that. So shoot me a text. Say, Paul, slow down. You get too excited. I will. No problem. Thank you so much. But what we find here with this prophetic significance and the Jesus code, the connection, Old Testament to New Testament, 1,000 years apart from one another, this also is representative of a promise that God makes. And what we find here every single time in life and in the Bible is when God says something, it always comes true. It always comes true every single time. And the one thing that we need to keep in mind is we need to be glad that Jesus rose from the dead. We need to be glad the tomb was empty. We need to be glad because what it does is it means it gives us a situation of there's no reason to be afraid. There's no reason to be shaken. There's no reason to be hurt because Jesus coming out of that tomb shows that that salvation is real, that the resurrection has happened, and then we get to look forward to that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to give you a little more here today. So let's go ahead and jump in here at Psalm 16, starting verse 8. And he has some absolute points here he shares. When I say that, I mean, he's got things that are just true. I mean, he's giving promises and saying things. He says, I'm in Psalm 16, starting in verse 8. Okay. I have set the Lord always, the word always, there's your absolution, right? Absolute. Always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be shaken. Okay. Why is he not shaken? We'll get to that in a minute. Therefore, my heart is glad and my whole being rejoices. My flesh also dwells secure. Now, that's pretty strong there. Okay. Strong words. Secure. All right. Okay. So I shall not be shaken. I put the Lord before me always. I will be secure, for you will not abandon my soul to Sheol. Sheol, the waiting place, the place of the dead. So yeah, or let your Holy One see corruption. Now, some of your translations may say decay. Okay, so your Holy One, he will not see. He will not see corruption. He's basically saying the Messiah. He's not going to decay. He's not going to have corruption. Verse 11. You make known to me the path of life, and in your presence there is fullness of joy. Man, that's powerful. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. So here we go. So the Old Testament prophecy here, this passage we find here where David writes, he said, I keep my eyes always on the Lord. He talks about being secure, the realm of the dead, nor will you ever see decay. So the historical context here is that this Psalms expresses David's trust in God and his protection over him, and ultimately bringing him eternal joy. All right. And he says basically he brings us to a situation where he says, you make known to me the path of life, and you will feel the joy in your presence. Verse 11. So the key prophetic line here that God says is it's the Holy One. It's a godly person, especially set apart. He's talking about Jesus. He's talking about his son. He would not be left in the grave to decompose. Okay. When you wrap up a body, you throw it away. When you wrap up a body and put it in a tomb, you lay it in the tomb, you walk out, after years and years and years, there's going to be decay. There's going to be, destruction of the physical body because it's dead. Right. But Jesus only in there 3 days. Okay, I mean, anybody who lives in the tomb 3 days comes out, they're gonna be okay, right? But this is Jesus Christ. Okay, no one's walking out. Okay, you die, you're not walking out. That's my point. But Jesus did. So David used the first person when he says me. If you notice that the passage, he says, which likely referred to his hope of resurrection, the prophetic significance here. The language goes beyond David's experience. I think that's very interesting. David did die, and his body decayed in the tomb, right? But Jesus wouldn't. His body would never decay. Early Christians misunderstood this as a messianic prophecy, that the Messiah would die but not remain dead for very long enough to decay, meaning he would rise again. This is the Jesus code. This is what we're talking about. And the New Testament fulfillment of this is that Jesus' resurrection, the Christological connection here, both Peter and Paul explicitly cite in Psalms 16 regarding the resurrection. We find this in Acts chapter 2, verse 29 through 32. We won't read this, but we are going to cover it in class on Wednesday night. Peter makes it plain, Psalm 16 was pointing to Jesus, the Holy One of God. That's in Acts 13. Again, we'll discuss that on Wednesday night. Yeah. We're also going to be referencing some of Paul's writings in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 3 and 4. The resurrection is central to the Christian's life, and seeing it as a prophecy assures us that it was always God's plan. That's the whole point. This was always God's plan from the very beginning. This is not an afterthought. It's not an afterthought. It's what was meant. So here's a phrase I want you to remember, and I know in class Wednesday we're going to say this a lot. But here's the main point. The main thing of the main thing is this: because Jesus rose, we can live unshaken, we can live unafraid, and we can live unashamed. I don't know why I have 4 fingers up. It's 3. We can live unshaken, unafraid, and unashamed because Jesus rose from the grave. That's what we get. That's the assurance we have in Jesus Christ. That's the truth we're talking about. The truth is that Jesus, from 1,000 years before his life, was already told he's not going to decay. No decomposition there. No rotting away of skin. He's only in there 3 days, and he's risen from the grave. Don't forget, that door was completely shut. All right, we go to Romans chapter 6 and continue to study through there 3 through 5 and find very quickly we understand that Jesus was completely buried, but in 3 days he's out, and the promise is fulfilled. The Jesus code happens because in Psalm 16 we're saying the very same things we're finding in Acts 13, Acts chapter 2, and in 1 Corinthians chapter 10. We're going to put all of those things together on Wednesday night for our Bible class, and I encourage you to be there. If you can't be there, it's okay. Go to lifeinchrist.com and tune in at 7 o'clock, or even after it's recorded, it'll be there. It's not going away. We do this on Wednesday nights, and I look forward to you enjoying that, being a part of that with us. Feel free, if you will, to shoot me a text, even after the fact on this. Let me know something. And send me an email, thepaulsperlin@gmail.com. I'd love to discuss this with you. I love the story. I love the Bible study of prophetic scripture, and that's what this is. It's basically analyzing the promises of God, and so that's where we are on that. Let's see, what else have we got we want to talk about? There was one more thing. I just love that phrase. Because Jesus rose, we're unshaken, we're unafraid, and we're unshaken, we're unafraid, and we're unashamed. I think that's incredible because Jesus rose from the grave. So many songs there. I just want to lead an invitation song, but it's great. It's a good conversation, and I hope that you will take this and study this as we continue to go through other things in our life. I want to thank you for being with me today for the Paul Spurlin Show. It's been a great time. I've enjoyed sharing this with you. Thank you to all the people. We had a bunch that came in and tuned into some part of our show. Appreciate that. Watch that. Share it if you don't mind. Share it with others, and let's get the word out. It's very important. Everybody understands that we seek to find truth, justice, and the way to Him. Have a great day, and God bless.